Talked about how what a monstrous storm system Florence is, and you can see the territory it covers literally from Myrtle Beach all the way up to the Virginia border. And some of the heaviest rainfall all morning long has been along the south-facing beaches right here around Oak Island, what used to be called Long Beach in that area, Bald Head Island. Right in that area, they've had as much as 10 to 12 inches of rainfall. More heavy rain tracking along the Outer Banks of North Carolina, over there towards Cape Hatteras, all the way inland as far as areas from Fayetteville all the way to Kinston. As you can see right up there just to the southeast of the Raleigh-Durham area, some very heavy rain, much of that tracking along the Virginia border. And then you go south of there, you can see the bands of showers around Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach really hasn't gotten the heavy rain yet. We're going to start to see some of those feeder bands tracking around. As you can see, that circulation right into the Grand Strand, right into Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We have also talked about the storm surge. We've seen storm surge amounts anywhere from 5 to 11 feet. So you take the combination of the heavy rain, the drenching rain, the gusty winds, and the storm surge. That's why we're seeing devastating conditions along the Carolina coastline. A lot of these bands of showers are tracking along the Outer Banks over there in that area around Cape Hatteras. These Outer Banks are very fragile islands. Highway 12 could be completely washed away by the storm system. The very latest on the track. This is a Category 1 hurricane. Wind 75, gusting to about 100 miles per hour, moving very slowly, almost 6 miles per hour. That's why it's taking forever for it to move away from the Wilmington area. Right now, it's just to the southwest of Wilmington. Once again, it's a Category 1 hurricane. Little River, South Carolina, there's Myrtle Beach. You go over into areas in the Midlands. As it takes that turn, heads back down to the southwest and does not move very much at all between Friday night, tonight, and all the way into the end of the upcoming weekend. That's why we're going to see bands of rain. We're going to see even maybe possibly tropical storm force winds here in the Charlotte metro area late Saturday into Sunday. Gusty winds right now at 52 miles per hour at Fayetteville over to Wilmington, 48 mile an hour wind gusts there, 68 mile an hour wind gusts at Jacksonville, and up towards the Outer Banks around 41 mile an hour wind gusts at Cape Hatteras on the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Here's some other wind gusts we're talking about. Cherry Point Naval Station over there about 68, 48 mile an hour wind gusts now at Myrtle Beach, and even over at Fayetteville getting some gusty winds at 52 miles per hour. So we're getting those tropical storm force winds there. This is that south-facing beach area I'm talking about. Holden Beach, Oak Island, Southport, Bald Head Island. Take a look at some of these estimated storm totals. Over 11 inches of Oak Island, almost 12 inches up there around Boiling Spring Lakes, almost 10 inches at Southport. We could probably add already another couple inches to that storm system right now as we take a look at the track. And we take you into tomorrow. As the showers start to track into the Charlotte metro area about 11, that's only some light rain. But notice over here, some very heavy rain around Southern Pines and Rockingham. There's a lot of concern about that area. Remember Hurricane Matthew and the devastation in that part of the state? It could actually happen again with all this rain that tracks across the area. Some of the heavier rainfall starts to move into the Charlotte metro area Saturday night. Train of rain starts tracking towards the region Saturday night into Sunday. One band of showers after another. That's Sunday morning at 8 a.m. More rain all day Sunday. We can see some breaks in that rain, but it will continue right through Monday. And that means more devastation right here in our area with the potential for a lot of flooding out there. With more on what's going on today, here's Chris Mulcahy.
Yeah, that's the thing, Larry. This does not want to go away. It's here, it just arrived, and it's packed its bags for at least a Saturday, Sunday stay. Monday, it looks like it wants to get out of here in a hurry, but some nice improvements. As Larry had mentioned, this is down to 75 miles per hour. Next up will be a tropical storm. So it's a hurricane now. It was looking like this could stay a hurricane most of the day. Over the last few hours, it's gone from 85 to 80 to 75 mile per hour winds, so things are doing a little bit better. Now, what happened was this really slowed down. It put on the brakes, and by doing that, it expanded its wind field a little bit more, but it decreased its wind field for hurricane winds. So we have a lot more tropical storm winds, mainly around the 39 to 50 range, a few of them close to that 70 mile per hour range, made landfall at 7:15, but instead of moving out of the west-southwest at 3 miles per hour, it's now moving off towards the west at 6 miles per hour. That is still very slow. That's why flooding is the biggest cause of concern. And check this out. This rain has been relentless. This band right here, these are a cause of concern. We still have a risk for tornadoes. This is a tornado warning because these type of bands that very unstable, drinking off the Atlantic, and that is allowing for us to see some quick spin up tornadoes. And that's why around Beaufort we have that tornado warning. So we will have a chance for scattered tornadoes as we're working our way through the day along the coast. And this little line that I showed you, this looks like a constant loop. This is a 5-hour loop of how far Florence has moved. 30 miles is all it has moved during that time, and that's a rough estimate, but you can see that rain has been constant, not forgiving, and we also have some of these bands that haven't been forgiven as well. What we will see as we work our way through the weekend, it's in between these bands that we will be setting up a chance for maybe a few breaks of sunshine. That's going to destabilize things, and when another one rolls through, that's going to allow for more spin-up tornadoes. But also, to paint a picture for you, what your weekend is going to be like. This is moving off towards the west slowly. Once it starts to rain here, we can expect on and off rain. That's the key. On and off rain for the rest of the weekend with some stronger storms embedded in between. But then there will be pulses at times that it's going to rain cats and dogs. 4 inches per hour in some finite locations, but I think general rain rates will be less than an inch for most of the weekend. It's just those bursts of those heavy rains that you can barely see in front of you when you're driving. Larry showed you this, but here's a new updated estimate because Larry said, hey, we might even have a couple more inches. He's absolutely right. He had about 11. I have 13 inches now here around Oak Island, and some are probably close to 15 inches. And we have a preliminary report that some as much as 18 inches of rain. That's close to 20, over 2 feet. That means that we will have a chance, or close to 2 feet is what I meant to say, but it looks like we will have a chance of even adding another foot of rain around this location because it's really the heart of the center of that low that is the biggest problem. Here's where the winds were before. It's a lot less than this, but I am showing you that in general the wind field is shrinking. It's a little skewed because it's right over the radar site in Wilmington, but this model right here, I think it's a little off because the hurricane winds are a little bit less than this, but you can see how quickly it's going to decrease. This says midnight. Realistically, I think we're all tropical storm winds heading into the afternoon, so really keep that in mind or for the rest of the afternoon. And then those tropical storm force winds, notice how close they are. That is on Sunday morning, so we will have a chance for some gustier winds and, of course, a lot of rain. I think it's especially Saturday night heading into Sunday that we really have to keep a close eye on that. Heading back to the coast, I want to talk a little bit more about this river flooding. So at Swift Creek, this is close to New Bern, we are now at major flooding. That's 8.2 feet. Hopping over to another river that was a big story this morning. That was the Pungo River. That's on the way down. So that's some good news there, but still have a chance for more storm surge and more rain to allow that to spike back up. But at least it's not at that peak of over 2.5 feet above flood stage. Now I'm setting up the big story that's going to happen in Fayetteville. Fayetteville, you're just dealing with some tropical storm winds for the time being. Right now, the river is at 11.89 feet. It's staying that way for the next 24 hours. By 11 a.m., still no problem. By 11 a.m. on Sunday, by 11 a.m. Saturday was what I was alluding to. 11 a.m. on Sunday, it's now minor flooding. That's 35 feet. By the time you hit about Monday morning, we're challenging major flood status. That's 58 feet. Looks to crest around 62.4. The record is 68.9. That can change. That's major flooding. This is a big, big story. All that water is just going to be rushing from what's happening on the coast. But it's close to 12 feet now, growing to 62. That's growing 50 feet by Tuesday, and that's why we have a lot of causes and concerns around the area, and even closer to home, some of our rivers and streams will be overflowing. So that's something that we really want to pay close attention to. And looking at our wind gusts, this is what we've seen over the last 12 hours. Really been interesting. You see Wilmington, 87 miles per hour, excuse me, and it did get up to 105 mile per hour winds. That is the second highest ever recorded in Wilmington's history. Marielle, I'm going to send it to you. Let's talk a little bit more about Charlotte. What's going on here? What can we expect the rest of the weekend?
All right, Chris, we're talking more about advisories this time around because we do have an update for one of our counties. Lancaster County went from a tropical storm watch to a tropical storm warning. And you can see that it's highlighted in orange. It's outlined on the outskirts of the outer bands of of this. So let's go ahead and take a closer look here. We see a lot more of the orange, and the reason behind this is because of the increase in wind speeds. So what tropical storm warnings do normally set in place for wind speeds of over 39 miles per hour. And we're going to expect that across some of our south and southeastern viewing areas. So just something to prepare for. But the whole area under a flash flood watch between now and Monday night, or through Monday night, I should say. So that is just an update on the advisories. This one in particular has not changed, but your tropical storm warning has. It has been upgraded to a warning from a watch thanks to the increase in winds that we are expecting